may snow on everyone. So many things
Joni Mitchell has always followed her own path. A poet, painter, and musical innovator, she never chased trends. She created them. Over decades, Joni reshaped songwriting with open tunings, jazz phrasing, and deeply personal lyrics. But behind her revolutionary sound were guitarists she admired, studied, and quietly learned from. At 82, Joni Mitchell finally reveals the 10 guitarists who shaped her musical soul, not through flash or volume, but through originality, emotion, and fearless expression. 10. Mississippi. John Hurt. Joni Mitchell was drawn to Mississippi John Hurt because his guitar never tried to dominate the room, it invited listeners in. His finger-picking was gentle, steady, and deeply human, creating a rhythmic bed that felt comforting rather than showy. Joni admired how Hurt's playing allowed the song to breathe, how his guitar seemed to cradle the melody instead of competing with it. For a young Joni learning to write emotionally honest music, Hurt's style offered a powerful lesson. Complexity doesn't need volume. His influence can be felt in her early folk recordings, where subtle guitar patterns support introspective lyrics. Hurt taught her that intimacy could be revolutionary, and that sincerity often leaves a deeper impact than virtuosity. His calm presence and unforced musicality aligned perfectly with Joni's belief that music should feel like a personal conversation, not a performance demanding applause. 9. Lead Belly, Lead Belly represented fearless authenticity to Joni Mitchell. His guitar playing carried stories, sometimes painful, sometimes defiant, but always real. Joni admired how Lead Belly blurred the lines between folk, blues, and protest music without concern for labels. His rhythmic strumming and commanding presence showed her that the guitar could be both a storytelling tool and a moral voice. What struck Joni most was his honesty. Lead Belly didn't soften his message to make audiences comfortable. That courage influenced Joni's own songwriting, especially her willingness to confront social issues and personal truths head-on. His guitar wasn't flashy, but it was purposeful, reinforcing her belief that meaning matters more than polish. Through Lead Belly, Joni learned that music could challenge listeners, provoke thought, and still remain deeply musical. 8. Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger's guitar playing embodied purpose rather than performance, something Joni Mitchell deeply respected. His simple strumming patterns served the song and its message, never distracting from the words being sung. Joni admired how Seeger used music as a vehicle for unity, activism, and reflection rather than self-expression alone. His restraint taught her that sometimes the most powerful guitar work is the kind that steps back and lets the lyrics lead. Seeger reinforced her belief that musicians have a responsibility, not to preach, but to reflect the world honestly. His influence is evident in Joni's socially conscious songs, where the guitar supports ideas rather than competing for attention. To Joni, Seeger proved that a guitarist's impact isn't measured by technical difficulty, but by the clarity of intention behind every chord. 7. Chuck Berry, Joni Mitchell admired Chuck Berry not for his volume, but for his precision. His guitar lines were concise, rhythmic, and perfectly timed, each riff acting like punctuation in a musical sentence. Joni respected how Berry's playing supported storytelling, mirroring the narratives in his lyrics. From him, she learned the importance of structure and economy in music. Even as her own work drifted into complex harmonies and unconventional tunings, Berry's influence remained in her sense of musical balance. She understood that clarity doesn't limit creativity, it strengthens it. Chuck Berry showed her how discipline and imagination could coexist, and how a guitar part could be memorable without being excessive. His influence helped shape her understanding of musical architecture. 6. Django Reinhardt. Django Reinhardt fascinated Joni Mitchell because he redefined what was possible on the guitar. Despite severe physical limitations, Django created a sound that was fluid, joyful, and endlessly inventive. Joni saw in him a powerful lesson. Limitations can become creative advantages. His melodic phrasing and fearless improvisation encouraged her to explore unconventional tunings and harmonic paths. Django's refusal to conform inspired Joni to trust her instincts, even when they led her away from mainstream expectations. She admired his resilience, not just as a musician, but as an artist who transformed adversity into beauty. For Joni, Django represented artistic freedom in its purest form. 5. Eric Clapton. Joni Mitchell respected Eric Clapton for his emotional restraint and musical maturity. While many guitarists chased speed or volume, Clapton focused on feel, tone, and phrasing. Joni admired how his playing evolved over time, becoming more reflective and less show-driven. His ability to let silence speak between notes reinforced her belief that space is just as important as sound. Clapton's discipline and emotional control resonated with Joni's approach to songwriting, where every note serves a purpose. Though their styles differed, she respected his commitment to authenticity and his refusal to overplay. Clapton showed her that mastery often reveals itself through subtlety rather than excess. 4. Neil Young. Neil Young's guitar playing resonated deeply with Joni Mitchell because of its honesty. His raw, sometimes abrasive style refused to hide emotion behind perfection. Joni admired his willingness to let flaws exist if they carried truth. Neil's guitar wasn't polished. It was expressive, unpredictable, and deeply personal. That vulnerability mirrored Joni's own artistic philosophy. She respected how Young used distortion, repetition, and simplicity to communicate feeling rather than technique. His influence reinforced her belief that emotional accuracy matters more than technical correctness. Neil Young showed her that music doesn't need to be perfect to be powerful. It needs to be real. 3. Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery transformed how Joni Mitchell understood harmony. His warm tone, octave phrasing, and jazz sophistication opened new musical doors for her. Joni admired how Wes made complex chord progressions feel natural and expressive rather than academic. His influence is especially evident in her later work, where jazz elements blend seamlessly with folk songwriting. Wes taught her that guitar could function like a horn or a voice, capable of rich emotional nuance. His elegance and restraint reinforced her appreciation for musical depth over surface-level flash. Montgomery didn't just influence her playing, he reshaped her musical vocabulary. 2. Jimi Hendrix. Joni Mitchell viewed Jimi Hendrix as a fearless innovator, someone who treated sound like paint on a canvas. She admired his willingness to dismantle tradition and rebuild it into something entirely new. Hendrix's tonal experimentation validated her own instinct to push boundaries and ignore genre limitations. Joni respected not just his technical brilliance, but his emotional openness, his ability to sound vulnerable and explosive at the same time. Jimi showed her that the guitar could be limitless, capable of expressing chaos, beauty, and introspection all at once. His courage to explore the unknown resonated deeply with her own artistic journey. 1. Andres Segovia. At the top of Joni Mitchell's list stands Andres Segovia, a symbol of discipline, tone, and reverence for the instrument. Joni admired how Segovia treated the guitar as a complete orchestral voice, capable of depth, clarity, and emotional precision. His classical approach influenced her respect for structure and tonal beauty, even as she ventured into experimental territory. Segovia taught her that innovation doesn't require abandoning tradition. It can grow from understanding it deeply. To Joni, Segovia embodied musical integrity. He wasn't just a guitarist she admired. He represented the highest ideal of artistic dedication and respect for sound itself. Joni Mitchell never measured greatness by speed or volume. For her, the greatest guitarists were storytellers, innovators, and truth seekers. Each of these 10 musicians shaped her not by imitation, but by inspiration. Their influence lives on in every open tuning, every unexpected chord, and every honest lyric Joni Mitchell ever wrote.